Oh, I threw it right on her. Oh, that's a big fish. Come on back. Hey, what's going on, you guys? I'm Dan from Savannah, and welcome back to Low Country Fishing. Today is going to be all about fishing the flats. I've got a good spot picked out in the back of a nice creek system where we're looking at some short Spartina grass, and it's going to be sight cast into redfish. Now, I got Adam with Square City Productions running the camera today, and we are going to get out here and we're going to see what we find. So you guys stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this episode. All right, guys, so as we make our way to the back of this flat, I want to just point out a few things that you really need to key in on if you're wanting to get a good flats fishing trip in. As you guys can see, the grass that's around us now, it's Spartina grass, right? So it's nice and tall. The reason this grass is tall is because it's constantly wet. If you were to take your shoes off and try to walk through that, you'd immediately be buried up to probably your knee, or if not deeper than that, in mud. So this isn't the type of grass length that we're looking for. We're looking for the short stuff that's in the very back. Now, that short Spartina, the reason it stays short is because the water barely hits it. When this water rises up on the Spartina grass, it tells the grass, hey, I need to grow taller to get away from the grass so I can continue receiving nutrients and stuff like that from the sun. So the short stuff is what you really want to cue in on, because the short stuff is also where the hard ground is. Now, as we get out here, depending on what the tide looks like as far as the depth, I may very well kick my shoes off and get out of the boat once we get close to these schooling reds and just get back there and walk around. Now, I wouldn't want to walk around in this because the mud is so deep, but back there where the short stuff is, it's nice and hard. All right, so we're still about an hour and a half or so before this tide really jumps up. I followed this main creek channel all the way back in here, and when I say main creek channel, we're sitting about 3.5 feet of water right now. It's not that deep. At low tide, there wouldn't hardly be any water here right now. But what's going to happen is these redfish are going to push in through these little main channels. So I position myself off to the side, not to spook or disrupt them. Then once the water gets high enough and it starts to really kind of get up onto that short Spartina, then we'll creep in nice and quietly back there with them. The key to today is going to be stealth, right? So you have to be quiet because these redfish get a little spooky. Now, I'm happy that the wind is blowing a little bit because that's going to create a little noise on the surface of the water, which will kind of mask some of my movements and the little bit of noise that I'm going to make. It's going to make for an interesting casting situation. We'll see that when we get up there. But for the meantime, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stage just a little bit, let everything kind of really settle down, and then start to creep in nice and easy. All right, so today's setup is going to be what I normally fish with. This is a Falcon XG Coastal Series rod. This is a 7-foot medium. The reel is a Shimano Stratic 3000. I'm throwing the 10-pound high-vis yellow Power Pro. I've got a knot here, just a uni to uni. I've got 6 turns on each end. I'm running about 12 or 16 inches or so of leader because I want this leader to be nice, and I want the bait to present natural, right? So a longer leader in this type of situation is better because the fish aren't going to be able to see the leader as much because it's clear. It's going to blend into its natural surroundings. I have a Rapala knot hooked to a Z-Man chin lock. Now this is a 1/6 ounce. The bait is a Z-Man EZ shrimp. I'm going with a lighter color today. This is a fried chicken, they call it. It's got a nice chartreuse tail. It's got a nice difference in color, a nice little contrast. And the reason I go with lighter colors on these flats is because the water is clear. So anytime you fish clear water, throw a clear bait. Dark water, dark bait. But I'm going to slather this thing with ProCure. The scent of the day is going to be blue crab. I don't think it matters. I just grab blue crab because in my mind, redfish like crab. So this is what we're going to do today. A little trout. Not the target species of the day, but it is life. A little guy. Bye, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna look for them to push into this little pocket right there, where you kind of see that brown. Not the green stuff, but the brown stuff. That's where I'm gonna be looking for them. So that little brown area there, this brown area, that. If I can get into that next level there, up into that next level. So all I'm looking for when I scan the flat is I'll kind of scan and break down into sections. I'll scan the first areas that I can see that are kind of closer towards me, and I'll kind of work it like a grid back and forth, just looking for movement. And I'll come over here, and then when I can't see the distance that I want to see on my next area, I'll pull out the binoculars and start scanning a little further back. But this is the type of area that you want to look for. You guys can see this little pocket right in here is that short Spartina. Once these redfish start to push up back in here, you'll start to see a little disturbance on the water. Now, I like the wind is slowed down just a little bit, and that'll allow me to see just a little bit of movement and agitation on the water. One of the big keys too, though, is stand up on something high and elevated, get a nice scan, and then get back down. Because if you stay up constantly, it may be just enough for that redfish to see you and spook and blow off of this flat completely. If you look right down my rod, right, yep, see her tail? That's a big girl. It's a big fish, Adam. There's another one over here. There's 3 or 4 in here. Oh, look at that big old tail right there. Oh, I threw it right on her. Turn around, turn around, turn around. Turn around, baby. Oh, that's a big fish. Come on back. Just come on, it's right beside her. Pick it up, baby. Pick it up, baby. Oh, it's right on her. Now it looks like it's very shallow in there, but in reality, it's about 1 foot of water in there. It's not until she attacks the bait or she's doing a headstand going after these crabs, you see the tail. So sometimes you just got to keep this thing sauced up. Throw it in that general direction. There's 2 of them. That's a 28, 29-inch redfish. That's a big tail fin. All I need you to do is just come this way about 15 more feet. That's where I wanted her to be, in that short stuff. Come back up, baby. So what's nice about these iStrike Texas eye hooks is the way the jig head is connected to that offset worm hook. It allows for just a tiny bit of space. So when I wiggle the rod tip like this, it's going click, 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 click in the water. So what I'm hoping is a combination of a little bit of clicking and that Procure. They can hear it, feel the vibration, and then taste it. I'm hoping that'll bring her over. There's one. Right on them oysters. There's our target species. Easy, girl. Calm down. There we go. That pretty blue tail. Gorgeous. So just a little recap of where we're at in the fishing schedule for today. The reds were up on that flat in the very back, just like we predicted them to be, and got back there and saw them and could not get a good cast on them. I had a headwind the whole time we were up there. They seemed to be just a little bit too far away. I got a good cast at a couple of them, and they just weren't taking it. They weren't looking for this. They were head down in the mud, rooting around, trying to find those crabs. So a couple really good casts just didn't pay out, but that's Sometimes that's all it is. But what's happening right now is that flat is dumping out, and this water is going to have to channel right through here. So this is a really nice choke point. I got some underwater oysters right over here on this corner. I'm feeling them with my eye strike Texas eye jig. I'm bouncing on the bottom and I'm making sure I feel that structure. And that's exactly where that little baby red or rat red, whatever you guys like to call them at home, that's exactly where they're at. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep fishing this little cut right here, and we're gonna wait for Mama to come down. We keep hearing them in the back, a little bit off into the distance over here, but at this point, there's no way we can creep in there and try to get them. So we're just gonna let them come to us. There's one. That's a good fish there. Oh, he's running right at the boat now. Easy, girl. She's so good. One last turn. There you are. Hi. Welcome. All right, target species is on the boat. Beautiful redfish. What was that? All right. $21.5. Beautiful fish. All right, here we go. You ready for the money shot? Well, I tell you, we worked hard for that fish. I can't tell you how many different spots we tried. We started up on the back of this flat today. We pulled down, it turned into whitewater rafting there at one point. So I knew a little spot over here where we got a lot of oyster shells and there's a lot of little current break. And I didn't see the fish. I didn't sight cast to it, I just blind casted. Now I'm throwing this little, this is a Z-Man Easy Shrimp. This is that same eye strike Texas eye hook. As you guys can see, this thing is beat up. It has been to war today and it's still hanging in there. But this is what it takes to get it done. Sometimes when you want to just turn it in and say, I've had enough, it's time to head home, make a couple more casts. Give yourself that one more opportunity, and next thing you know, 21.5-inch redfish. So that's gonna be it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you for all the support that you give me and the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a big thumbs up. And until next time, I'm Dan from Savannah. Take care, you guys. God bless. Bye.